Right, hello, lads and lasses, and welcome back to Boys Down Under. And how good is football? Honestly, what would we do without it? And what would we do without Big Ange and his quartet of Japanese footballers? Before we go any further though, please remember to like the video. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to help support the channel grow. And I would be forever appreciative of you guys if you help me do that. But without further ado, let's get into it. Wow. Being a Celtic fan, there's something about it. It's something just, I can't explain it. Magical things just happen all the time at Celtic Park. Under the lights of paradise, there were stars tonight. But the game could have been so much worse, and instead of showing stars, it could have been lightning and thunder and hail and just everything bad about a thunderstorm. But it was not, because not even 3 minutes in, Kevin Nisbet was given a golden platter. You know, he had caviar and everything else rich people eat on it, but he refused it. I don't know how. Somehow he hit the post, the furthest post away from him, an angle which is so tight that even I don't think anyone could try to do it on purpose. I still can't believe the ball didn't go in the back of the net. I'm still shocked about it. I don't really know what to say about it. It's one of the worst misses I've ever seen live. But the Paradise Gods were watching down on us, and I think I was in disbelief. I still am in low-key disbelief. I can't believe we tried to sign that man. However, not even 1 minute later, Celtic won back possession on the right-hand side of the field. It was Leo Labada. Plays a short ball off to Juranovic, who finds Tommy Rogic, and then on debut, Dyson Maida, not even 4 minutes into his Celtic debut, finds the back of the net and sends Celtic Park into absolute hysterics. He sent me into absolute hysterics. It was the perfect start to a perfect debut. And even though it didn't come to fruition, I honestly was sitting there thinking, this man is going to bag a hat-trick, isn't he? It just seemed how it was going to go. It seemed like Dyson was going to be the star of the show tonight. Surely he couldn't. But obviously he didn't. However, bagging a goal on your debut is nothing to be discredited for. That was a very impressive piece of play from Celtic, capped off by a great goal. Just had to put it past the keeper. He did what he had to do. He opens his account, and I was so happy for him. I can't lie. I was so very happy. But Celtic were, from that point on, just relentless, you know. Seeing off that very early scare from Nisbet, we just kept pushing and pushing. Quick passes, quick touches, Ange ball everywhere you look. Tom Rogic, he had a half volley that glanced wide, but roll around the 23rd minute or so, a lovely Greg Taylor lob through ball finds Leo Labada, whose first touch wasn't the best in the world. However, it set up what was an even better play where Leo tries to chip the ball back through the middle of the two Hibs defenders, strikes Josh Doidge on the arm in an unnatural position, and Celtic were given a penalty. With Josip Juranovic on the field, I don't think anyone had any doubts. I certainly had no doubts, because from the past 3, I think, penalties, Josip has had 100% accuracy. Each penalty has gone a different way. He strikes it with so much power and ferocity. The composure he shows, it's incredible. You'd never think he's going to miss, and he didn't disappoint at all. A lovely, fierce strike into the bottom right-hand corner. Celtic found themselves 2-0 up after 23 minutes, and the intensity did not drop even after that. We kept pressing Hibs and pushing for a third. Dyson almost pulled off something magical when he charged down the goalkeeper, almost nearly scoring off the tackle. However, the keeper got away. A very scuffed clearance at the end of it. There was another moment. Dyson's press, his sheer and electric pace paid off. Winning possession just in front of goal. He crossed it back to the outside of the box to fellow countryman Rio Hatate, who had to force a very decent save from the Hibs goalkeeper with the half volley. And look, Hibs had a couple more chances. Nothing too worrying. You know, Nisbet had a night to forget. He had another golden chance. I guess we could say that he scuffed again. But half-time came along. Forrest had a chance just before half-time on the whistle where he glanced it wide. Is what it is. We went into the break 2-0 up. And, you know, Celtic came back out the second half. You know, we certainly were not as energetic as we were in the first half. I think we seemed rusty. However, it wasn't terrible because we were still in control. It appeared both Celtic and Hibs came back out into that second half, sort of, I wouldn't say a shell of ourselves, but certainly not the electric football we were showing in the first half. And Hibs, they never really got another good chance at goal. It must be said, Celtic, we had a few. There was Carl Starfelt when he nicked the ball with a header across the face of goal. Leo hit the post, injuring himself in the process. And to be honest with you guys, I was almost horrified. I thought that injury, it appeared almost identical. I got PTSD from Julien's injury last year. I thought, oh no, he's done his knee. It's completely gone. He's gonna have to be stretched off. He was in severe amount of pain, but luckily he was able to jog off. Hopefully it's just a really bad knock. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, because for someone at Lille at the age of 19, you don't wish and you don't want those injuries to happen to anyone at that age when they're still progressing and developing as a footballer. But luckily, able to walk off, like I said, jog it off. Mikey Johnson replaced him. Tom Rogic, he had a couple more chances, but the second half certainly seemed a lot rustier than the first. However, wasn't bad. It just wasn't polished, and we still dominated Hibs, like I said, but just not, in the way we had in the first half. But which I've got no issues with it, because we've just came back from a winter break. We've still got another game against Alawa before we go into the hard matches to get those rest of those cobwebs off. And look, we had a lot of players get minutes. Itaguchi came on, Yusuke Itaguchi that is. He came on and got 15 minutes or so, I think, at the end of the match, made his debut. Jota returned from injury. He had 8 minutes. Giacomarcus returned from injury. So certainly had a lot of players returning and a lot of players, getting back into the field for it. Anthony Ralston was an unused sub on the bench. But what can we learn from this match? Firstly, and most importantly, we missed Kyogo. I think Dyson Maeda will be a star for Celtic. I have no doubt in my mind that will happen. I really do. However, I think we really, really missed Kyogo in that striker position, and with the news that he still has not recovered from his hamstring injury, it really puts him in doubt for the upcoming 3 important clashes against Hearts, Dundee United and the Derby. I think Dyson's sheer pace is a force to be. It showed how many problems he caused for Hibs tonight with that pace. I think, however, coupled with Kyogo's movement and coupled with tripled with Jota's just flair, just absolute skill, just Jota's ability to play football, I think that is the most dangerous front 3 we could have. Our Portuguese Prince on the left, Dyson on the right, and Kyogo through the middle. I think that is an unstoppable front 3. I do think, however, Abada played quite well tonight, as did James Forrest. I thought they were both quite strong and quite. I thought they did their job very well on the wing. I thought Abada showed a lot of quality touches, so did James Forrest. But in the long run, we really need Kyogo playing. So we need him back from injury as soon as possible. Get him in rehab. Try and speed it up, because if we are to lose players for those 3 matches, we need Kyogo fit for them instead. Secondly, Rio Hatate is going to be an absolute star for Celtic. Midfielders, they don't usually get a lot of credit for the work they put in, but he certainly was credited tonight, taking out the Man of the Match award in what was a very, very impressive 74-minute stint on the pitch. And it's a 74-minute stint that if he can produce that week in, week out for Celtic, he will certainly be posing a threat to David Turnbull's jersey when David Turnbull returns from injury, because it was a very, very strong performance from Rio, both on and off the ball. He had quality touches. He tracked back, tracked forward. He was everywhere tonight on the pitch. It was great to see from him, and I think we're really, really going to miss him and Tom Rogic if they're both called up for the Asian World Cup qualifiers. If we lose both Rio and Rogic, I think that's a bigger issue than having Kyogo out for those 3 matches. I think I'm a bit worried. I can't lie. I think we're going to have to deal with it when it comes, however, but I'm really worried about that. But we're not going to focus on that right now, because one of the most wholesome moments I've ever seen from someone in a Celtic jersey happened. It was when both Forrest and Rio were both off the pitch, and they were announcing the Man of the Match award. It came over the loudspeaker. Rio was confused. He didn't know what was happening. Jamesy Forrest had to explain to him that he'd won the Man of the Match, and the smile and realization that went over Rio's face is just absolutely so. It's so great to see. I'm going to play the video for you guys, because why bloody not? And look, yeah, I think that it put a smile on everyone's faces and one of the best moments of the night. But back to my main point, Rio is going to be a star for Celtic. I think he will be, like Dyson, I think he will be an absolute star. I think he's got the assets and the quality already. I think if he can just develop himself more as a footballer, he will be a very, very dominant figure in this league. And like I said, I really pray he does not get called up to the Japanese squad, because if we lose both him and Tom Rogic, we're mudded in the midfield without a doubt, because we don't have an attacking midfielder then. So, but something we have to focus on when it comes to us. However, the third and final thing that we can take away from this match is that with 18 matches left, which include the second phase, I think it's 18 for Celtic, could be wrong, it's something around that number. However, we need to be winning every single match. Now, obviously, the pressure right now is on Rangers. With us winning tonight, we've now closed the gap to 3 points. If Rangers lose, it stays at 3 points on equal games. If they win, the gap extends back to 6 points on equal games. But that 6 point lead is massive, because in a league where, you know, it's going to be really hard for Rangers to slip up, I think there's only two ways where Celtic are going to take the lead back in this title race. Number one, Ibrox runs out of penalties. They are sold out in penalties. Hopefully, that is the first way. With a bit of luck, we can take the lead of the lead of the league back. Or the second way, every single derby match that remains, Celtic take 3 points from it. I believe there's there's 3 more league derby matches if my calculations are correct. So if we can take 9 points from that without Rangers taking any, that would certainly put us in a prime position, barring any mistakes that we make along the way, because right now we're at that point of the season where we cannot be making any mistakes. However, let's celebrate the win. Let's not focus on that for now. We'll get to that as it comes, but that is all from me. So if you did enjoy the video, please remember to like it, subscribe to the channel, leave in the comments below who your man of the match was. Mine was Rio Tate, as you guys know. I think there's claims for a few other players, but I certainly do think Rio deserves it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And what do you think about the situation with Kyogo and other players going to the national teams for the Asian World Cup qualifiers? A lot of things to talk about. Maybe make a video on tomorrow. We'll have to see. And until next time, hail, hail.